Alright, now we know how to group individual form controls in an array group. However, in real projects, the data you try to group into the array might be way more complex. For instance, what if I want to have also some label next to the phone number to clearly see what exactly this number means? Well, to achieve that, we would need to group a little bit more complex data structure rather than just a simple form control. So let's jump to the code and implement it right now. First of all, we have to replace the single form control with a new instance of form group because we will have a separate control for the phone label and the separate control for the phone number. And as before, it is an empty string by default. Now, the same adjustment we would need to do also inside the addFont method and replace the form control instance with this new form group. Great. Once we have done that, we have to slightly adjust stuff in our template. First, let's create a new select control where the user could pick a predefined label. And let's create some array of these predefined labels. So somewhere maybe here above, before the form, I will create a new property that would contain the following array of possible values for the phone label. Then I go back to the template and using the ng-for loop, I will render all possible options, just like that. And also I provide a label variable as an option value, and let's also print the label right here so the user can actually see what exactly to choose, right? And because we changed the data structure in the form array, we have to remap our form control instances with native controls like select and input. All right. As you know, now our controls in form array are form groups, so we have to reflect it in the view using an already familiar directive for that called form group name, which value should be an index of this group in the array, right? It means that the form control name of this input is not an index anymore, right? Because the index points out to the form group, but rather the form control name value is a form control instance for the phone key inside this exact group. A similar is applicable also for the form control name for the select, which should be a form control instance for the key label, like that. So basically we iterate through this array. This form group is the first in this array, so it has an index 0. So here we say that, okay, then this form group name has the name 0. And we know that this group with index 0 has two form control instances inside, one for phone, one for label. So we explicitly link them with appropriate native controls, and then this process is repeated for each next iteration. I hope it is clear. And now we should already see some changes in the browser. So you can see that I can add and remove phones to the group, and I can define the label of the phone and the phone number itself. Looks very nice, though I have a couple of improvements in mind. First of all, I would like to have a pre-selected label instead of null. Secondly, I want to add some space between the label and phone field, and additionally I want to make the width of the label selector a bit smaller. So let's get started with the first one. I just go to my TS file and provide the first element of the phone labels array as an initial value. And then I do the same also inside the addFont method, just like that. Then I go to the template and let's quickly add some class here. Good. Now I go to the styles and somewhere here below, yeah, right here, I will add a selector and apply some spacing from the right side. And also I'm going to restrict the width of this selector. So let's check this out. Cool. Do you agree that it looks way better now, don't you? And as you can see, I can add multiple numbers to the section, right? I can also change the label for this font number, and you can see that it was reflected also in the final form value. Also, I can remove the number and you can see that it will be properly changed as well.